It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and especially the young people around me who are supposed to be the future of this country, the city, the country, the world. And I'll be speaking on a very interesting topic. While we all know about climate change, uh, the issues related to the pollution which we are going through, issues related to hurricanes, issues related to untimely monsoons, extended monsoons, and these are all around climate change that is happening. And so, one of the key issues is for the whole world, if we have to see that how do we make sure that the temperature rise, which is happening due to the climate change, uh, how do we control it to the extent we can, and therefore the whole world pledged to achieving net zero in COP 27. India has to achieve net zero by 2070. Most of the European countries are supposed to be achieving net zero by 2050 or 2045. Now, when we say what is net zero, net zero is primarily uh, a scenario wherein the countries have committed to reduce their carbon emissions level to the extent in comparison to 2009. That is net zero. And how do we achieve it? We can only achieve it if we use means of energy which is carbon free. So today, when we talk about carbon free, you could imagine you going to the schools or colleges either by bus, train, or your own transport. We talk about petrol, diesel only, most of the times. And these days we have started talking about electric vehicles as well. So any fuel which is available by nature, carries carbon content, be it petrol, diesel, gas, or any other form of fuel. And that is whenever we use that fuel in our vehicles or at homes or in the industry, we produce carbon when we burn that fuel, and that carbon goes into the atmosphere, and that carbon creates climate change in terms of temperature rise and other things. And therefore, in order to make sure that we end up containing carbon emissions, we have to use renewable energy, renewable fuels, or so to say, the future fuels. Uh, I would be very happy to share that India has already achieved 50% of their energy need annually by renewable sources of energy, which include solar, wind, hydro, and biomass. Uh, this is what we were supposed to be achieving by 2030, but we achieved in 2025, 5 years ahead, and we are running one of the largest renewable energy program in the world, where our target is to do 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. However, this is not enough. Energy contributes to only, I would say, electricity, not energy. Electricity contributes to only 70 to 18% of the total carbon emissions that is there for us in the country. So the balanced carbon emissions happens from the industry, from transport, and other sectors, right? And therefore, over there are hard to abate sectors like steel, cement, fertilizers, railways, and where some of the places we can do electrification, and some of the places we cannot do anything. We have to still use fuels. Now, if we have to replace these fuels, what are the new fuels? The fuels which are not having carbon attached to that are green hydrogen. Now, green hydrogen is a man-made fuel. It's not available by God, like crude oil, right, or gas. And then there are derivatives like green ammonia, green methanol, and synthetic aviation fuel. So these are the new fuels wherein there is no carbon attached, and what kind of usage they have. For example, since you're all students, I think it'll be interesting for you to understand. In India, we consume almost 10 million tons of hydrogen, so to say, which is grey hydrogen we call, wherein we use most of the times natural gas as a feedstock or coal as a feedstock through coal gasification. And we produce hydrogen, which has been used either in the fertilizer sector or in refineries or in chemical sector, and there are so many other usages, including medical. So this 9 million tons of hydrogen which we are consuming today in the country can be replaced with green hydrogen. And how do we produce green hydrogen? We all know there is plenty of water, at least the sea water is plenty, if not drinkable water. And we can split that water. Water is, the formulation is H2O. So it has got hydrogen and oxygen. So once you split it, there are two parts to it. One is oxygen, one is hydrogen, right? And we can do that with a process called electrolysis, right? So once we break the water through the electrolysis process and we use renewable energy for running this process of electrolysis, the hydrogen which is produced is called green hydrogen, right? And in the whole process, there is no emission of carbon for producing the hydrogen because we are using 100% renewable energy. And in hydrogen, if you really see, any fuel today we use, be it LPG gas or PNG gas or crude oil, when we burn it, the actual fuel which is getting burnt is hydrogen, nothing else. The rest all is carbon or associated materials which will evaporate or go away in the atmosphere. Likewise, today in India, we have a large fertilizer, consumption. And for the fertilizers, we import a lot of ammonia from various parts of the world, which is also called grey ammonia. So currently, if you see in India, we import around 4 to 5 million tons of ammonia annually, right? Which is grey. And what we can do is, if we use green hydrogen to make ammonia, wherein we have almost 70% of NH3, which is available in air. There is a process which is called Haber-Bosch process, wherein we take NH3 from the atmosphere, combine it with hydrogen, and that makes it ammonia. With this process, once we make the ammonia, it is called green ammonia. So we can actually replace almost 4 to 5 million tons of ammonia which is being imported today from different countries, because we are not natural gas rich country. That's how we consume or replace grey ammonia with green ammonia. Just to give you a small perspective on the grey ammonia market in the world. Today, almost 170 million tons of grey ammonia is being traded globally across the world. And this is a complete replacement market, right? For setting up a plant of 1 million ton of grey ammonia, which is very tiny, we need $7 to $8 billion of investment, which is around 50 to 60,000 crores of investment. So, and second is, since the whole process is driven by renewable energy, India is currently positioned as one of those countries where we have the lowest cost of renewable energy, be it wind, solar, hybrid. So therefore, it positions India very well, not only to produce for its own consumption fuels like green hydrogen or green ammonia or green methanol, but as well we can export to the world. With this thought, Government of India came out with a green hydrogen mission with a target of 5 million tons of green hydrogen, which is almost equivalent to 30 million tons of green ammonia by 2030. And the whole perspective was, since the consumption in India is not going to be that high, almost 70% of what we produce in India is going to be exported. And this will also attract an investment of 8 lakh crores in this industry within the country, and with almost 600,000 jobs for the future employees, who are students these days. So therefore, this is the second large chunk of, opportunity which we are sitting in terms of the country. The third large opportunity which we see for the future fuels is shipping industry. Today, we are consuming over 1 billion tons of bunker oil to run the ships across the world, which needs to be renewed in terms of change of fuel if we have to, reduce the carbon emissions. And 1 billion ton of crude is, in the energy terms, is almost equivalent to 2 billion tons of green ammonia or green methanol. So that is the kind of opportunity again which is available in the future. And probably green hydrogen, green ammonia are the only ways, or green methanols are the only ways for any country to achieve net zero, right? So therefore we see we are going to be almost replacing the complete oil and gas industry over the next couple of hundred, I would say a couple of decades, wherein green hydrogen and derivatives are going to be making a major contribution in terms of carbon emission reduction, achievement of net zero, and the whole world is working towards it. India has taken a very strong stand. Indian government, through Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, has come out with an incentive scheme with almost 24,000 crores of incentives for green hydrogen program, wherein incentives were made available for the production of green hydrogen, green ammonia, for the R&D activities, for the green hydrogen hubs. Just to mention, there are 5 ports which have been identified and they have been made green hydrogen hubs, just because 70% of what we produce are expected to be exported from the country, and therefore we are developing multiple ports for export of green ammonia and setting up projects. On the other hand, individual states like Odisha, like Maharashtra, like Gujarat, like Karnataka, as well as Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, they also came out with their own incentive policies to encourage the industry to set up their such export units in their particular states. And the most attractive, I would say, are 3, and one is in where I'm speaking now, Maharashtra, is one of the most attractive apart from Odisha and Tamil Nadu. So the opportunity is very large, and the whole world is working towards it. We have a large opportunity for India, and I believe India has to play a major role. Now in Purva, which is a part of RPHG group, RP Sanjeev Goenka group, which is a large conglomerate. This is a new platform which we created in 2024. And over here, we are currently developing 3.2 gigawatt of renewables capacity in India with a larger goal of doing 10 gigawatt by 2030. We also have a green hydrogen project in Odisha for 10,500 KTPA. And we have also set up a solar module and cell manufacturing facility quite recently, so quite integrated into renewables, and we are taking up all those opportunities to get into areas of new age fuels with green hydrogen and other derivatives. Coming back to the role of bioenergy, bioenergy is something which is going to play a major role in terms of making of green methanol. Green methanol is when we combine green ammonia with the carbon which is being produced from the biofuels. Now, since biofuels are carbon neutral in nature, the carbon which they produce is not considered carbon emission because they take a lot of carbon during their lifetime when they are in the process of evolution. And that carbon, once used with green hydrogen, is called green methanol, which is again a very attractive fuel for the shipping industry. So these are the three large opportunities which we are sitting on. The fourth large, one of the largest opportunities which some of the countries are have already started working on is use of green ammonia in the thermal sector. Today we are producing electricity from coal, which is, we all know coal is producing a lot of emissions, and countries like Japan, they don't have land, they can't put renewables, and therefore in order to make their carbon emissions lower, they have started co-firing green ammonia with coal. So initially they've started with 20%, and their goal is to go up to 80% with certain conversions in their own plants. Now that particular application provides a very huge opportunity, whatever sectors I talked about, hydrogen, or so to say ammonia, fertilizers, or even shipping. Power is something which is one of the largest opportunities we have. And in India also, Adani has done some trials. And I think in future, going forward, as you all grow, you will keep hearing, listening in the news or in the newspapers about all these new age fuels. And hopefully, within your lifetime, you will be able to see this transition happening. Thank you so much.